They don't know really what's going on at all. And I've actually sought out help before way long ago, like 2 years ago on my TikTok, and what I got wasn't helpful at all. So I knew there was a need for it. And so I think I started a TikTok growth coaching business, and literally 2 days after I started I actually got the LLC like official, I made this video, and it was about how TikTok works. It was just for value, and it has 3 million views right now, and that's like the video that really took things off. And so that probably accounted for 50 or 60,000 of that 100,000
Damn.
that I made, to be honest.
First of all, how's your day?
Going great, going great as
Love to hear that.
always.
Yeah, we had a bit of technical difficulties here, but we're up and we're rolling. So I'm excited to chat with you today about a bunch of different things. But you've been popping up on my For You page quite a bit, and I went down the rabbit hole of your content. And so I know a decent amount about you, but if anyone's totally new to you, how did you get into the world of social media and online marketing?
Yeah, so I started on social media actually back in 2016, 2017, trying to become a music artist, actually. And so I was trying to do stuff, and I came across TikTok, and I saw that it did well for me. But as a music artist, you never get as much money as you
Mm,
want. That's the big thing. You want to get the streams and stuff like that. What I started doing is I heard of this thing called affiliate marketing from a friend of mine, and I started getting into affiliate marketing via TikTok. And with that, I was making good money, like 10, 12K a month. And then I realized it's not affiliate marketing that's actually making me this money. It's the way that I know how to use social media.
mm.
And so I've started an online coaching business that helps others use social media so that they can monetize their brand, monetize their coaching business and whatnot. And so that's how I got into the game, though, just through affiliate marketing. And then after that, I just kept going and kept going.
So, okay, so there's a few different things that I want to unpack, but first we got to start off
Yeah.
with the music piece because I didn't even know that. So, what kind of music were you?
Yeah, I was making the typical R&B. I like to think I had my own unique sound. I was actually pretty good. I've gotten different opinions from just different random people, but yeah, just like R&B type hip hop music, if you will.
That's
Yeah.
sweet. And so, can people find your music with just your name, or did you have an artist name?
Yeah, I had an artist name. So I've actually had a couple
Okay,
finding my own identity. So the name that's out under right now is YOEL. So YOEL.
okay.
That's it. And yeah, that's my music. So I've talked to a bunch of like big people and whatnot. And I actually was gonna sign a deal back in like 2017, but I did not.
Damn. Okay, well, yeah, we
So
definitely gonna talk more about music in a second. But so you, if you were on TikTok in 2016, was it called Musically then?
no, I wasn't on TikTok in 2016. I was just that was when my first exposure to like actually using social media to promote. So back then I was primarily using
Okay,
Twitter, trying to do YouTube, stuff like that. But then I came across TikTok, I want to say
okay,
2018,
still very early.
maybe 2017, 2018. Yeah, very early. And something popped off there where like I staged this video with my girlfriend at the time, and it was like, oh, if I sing this song, will like you give me a kiss or something like that? And I sang it. It went viral, and I was like,
Damn.
this is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's sweet, man. Okay, so then you're making that stuff, seeing some traction, and obviously your business mind started going. So what was it that attracted you to affiliate marketing in particular?
Honestly, I think my motivations for music, with outside of it just being a creative outlet, was to make money. I was always the type of person that was planning like, okay, if I get 5,000 streams, and I do that every day for the month, 5,000 times 30 with the Apple Music streaming rate, oh, I can make like $3,000 a month. So I was like that, and so I was like, I'm not making that.
Mm,
And at the time, I was working like a 9 to 7 job, so I was working like 10 hours a day at a call center, and I hated that, and I wanted to get out fast, and I knew that the traffic on TikTok was cool, and so affiliate marketing seemed to be a way that you can actually start making money faster, do some type of side hustle, and then of course that side hustle became my main.
yeah, so I have a similar story for that where I saw affiliate marketing as an opportunity to slowly start building something that I could get away from my job. A lot of the jobs that I had were during the summer and whatnot during school. They were very labor intensive. And then when I graduated school, I just picked whatever job would pay me the most. But I want to hear
Yeah,
more about that call center experience. Those are long days, especially talking that much. What was that experience like?
horrible. I didn't like it, and people really talk to you like you're a dog or
Trash.
something. It showed me exactly where I was in the world,
Mm.
and that's how I took it. I had a friend at the time that I was living with that had the exact same job, and we literally on every lunch that we were scheduled and not scheduled, we talked about how much we hated it and whatnot, how much we wanted to get out. And so it was just horrible all around.
I can relate to that. My last job before I went hard on social stuff was door to door sales. So like very similar experience. You see the bad side of people when you do something like that. And it's very humbling. I will say it definitely builds up your resiliency, and it also makes you extremely motivated to figure something else out.
Yeah,
And
of
obviously you
course.
did that. So what was the initial play for affiliate marketing? What were you promoting? What kind of content were you making to promote it? All that stuff.
Yeah, so you've probably heard of the affiliate marketing program, Legendary Marketer, like the 15-day business
Yep.
builder challenge. Yeah. So I was doing that right in the beginning. Type of content I was making was just this cookie cutter how to make money online
Okay.
content. And then you'd have a link in your bio. And back then, I didn't know much about marketing. I didn't know why people would like you or connect you over a camera. I was just like, this type of content does
Hmm.
well. I'm going to do it. And off of me doing this content, people just click my link and buy stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just keep doing this and figure this
Sweet.
out.
That's awesome. And so then obviously from that point, you've developed quite a solid understanding of marketing, and even some of the stuff that you say, even as a well-versed marketer like myself, I still hear some things you say and I'm like, oh wow, like that's a golden nugget. So like where did you source all of your information for this stuff from?
Yeah,
Okay.
experience. I would literally say experience. I just kept digging and I gotten very curious about
Mm,
TikTok in the game. And so one thing about me, I think that separates me from a lot of other marketers and people on TikTok just in general, especially when I was in the affiliate marketing game, while I was at the top, was my perspicacity. I don't think people were looking at everybody else the way that I was trying to see what makes everything tick so much, so deep. A lot of people, they just go on TikTok and go, okay, I'm just going to copy this, but they don't have context as to why they're copying or why something actually works. And I was the person that dug 5 levels deeper to figure out why exactly something worked. And I think that's what kind of got me that answer.
I absolutely love that because it's the why behind something working that allows you to replicate it in your own way. Whereas if you just focus on the what worked, then you may get short-term success. But it's a lot like the analogy of if you hand a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. So I love that whole approach, and obviously it's proven to be fruitful for all that. Obviously, you say you've a lot of people make the mistake of just trying to copy stuff. What are some other mistakes that you see from a lot of people that come to you to get help?
I think honestly, just they're not a genuine person. And it's weird because marketing, it's taken a turn for me in the past couple of months where I found the people that make the most connections, yes, they can do good trends and whatnot. They can understand how everything works, but if it's not genuinely
Yeah.
them, and it sounds stupid, it's really not going to work. I feel, have you ever had a friend where they're your best friend obviously for a reason, but you just look at them and you watch them and everything they do is like hilarious to you, but it's only hilarious to you because of their backstory. You've been growing up with them, that sort of thing. How can you replicate that over the camera? I don't think people can do that because they're not actually showing themselves. They're showing a version of themselves that they think other people want to see. They're doing trends that they think other people want to see without pitting themselves out there. And I think without that piece, I think that's a big mistake people make because they don't, I think they're just afraid of who they are. And so they're not genuinely themselves, and that doesn't allow things to translate over the camera to build an actual following, a brand over what they want to build.
That's quite profound actually, because I right when you said that, I started to think about people in my life, and I was like, yeah, like that's exactly it. It's the layered approach and the layered of understanding. So for many people who struggle with that, which is I would say probably like 95% plus, how do they
Yeah.
go about, or what advice do you give to help them find them? Because I think that is tough. I even sometimes I'll watch videos from a few months ago, and I'm like, who is that guy? So it's like, how do you develop
Yeah.
that?
I would say understand context of TikTok. We're trying to do this on TikTok. You got to understand context on TikTok and understand what works, what doesn't, and understand that beyond all this, there's not going to be a single video like that you can calculate every single time that's going to blow up. You're trying to figure out yourself. And so I say this all the time, like Kobe Bryant, before he was a great basketball player, he obviously copied or emulated the moves of Michael Jordan. Justin Bieber had Usher. Everybody, Post Malone, he sang cover
Hmm.
songs and whatnot. So as you understand the context of TikTok, it's okay to emulate as long as you understand the context behind what you're emulating. As you keep pushing out that content, let that content kind of flow. Don't do something super, don't just copy straight up. Like you said, put your own spin to it, but there's a way that you can put your own spin to it and only do things that you feel align with you and your brand. And those things are going to come out because I don't think getting views and building a brand has to be binary. I think a lot of people think that you're either getting views and doing trends or you're being yourself and branding. And I think those two things can
Mm.
combine as long as you understand why you're doing what you're doing. So understand why you're doing what you're doing, the context of how TikTok works, and keep pushing out content. And I think it's going to genuinely come as long as you keep doing those things over and over.
Yeah, I think very much it's a trial by fire thing. It's a repetition thing. It's just getting the reps in and feeling comfortable with it over time. I think that's the closest thing to a science that you can get for this stuff, is that it's very
Yeah.
nuanced. But like, just hearing you speak, you're wildly analytical, I can tell. So it's like, where did that come from? What was it? Did you have a family member who was like that, or was it like a club you were part of? Like, where did that come?
I'll tell you where it came from, and it's a funny story. When I was in high school, I wasn't always like the coolest person. Freshman year to sophomore year, I played basketball and stuff like that, and junior year, and I was super analytical, just trying to
Mm.
fit in, right? Understand what makes this person like all that good stuff. Even on the basketball court, like why does he get more playing time than me? Is it his shot, whatever? How does he carry himself? All that good stuff. And so I actually moved schools my junior year to my senior year, and I was like, I told everyone before that didn't know that wasn't in the school. I told like my grandma when I moved, my brother, like I'm gonna run this school. This school is mine. Okay. And I knew I was gonna do so because I had watched a particular person from my old high school that was really popular. And I was like, I'm gonna be like him, but I'm gonna understand why people like him so much. And so it was just my need of wanting to just be liked and like take over that school. Long story short, I went to that new high school. I was like on prom court, homecoming court. Everybody loved me. I pretty much did take over that school, but it started from that STEM need of wanting to be liked and wanting to understand how things work in that social construct, and that led to everything else
Oh
that I
man,
do.
that's so cool. So what can you remember were the qualities that this guy had that you used as like your baseline kind of thing? And then how did you break down like the qualities to then make them?
Yeah, yeah. So this guy, he wasn't the brightest guy. I was actually more smart than him, and but he would always not speak when needed to be spoken to. He wasn't speaking out of turn. That's one thing that I noticed a lot. I think how I took those features from him is just watching him, and then when I saw a quality that I think people thought was redeeming, like funny or whatever, I would see his reaction and see like where that's coming from. So he would say something stupid like in the back of the class, huh? Like when like after a teacher just got done saying like instructions, everyone thought that was hilarious. And I was like, why does everyone think that's hilarious? And he's actually being dead serious. He's being himself. And I think people could tell he was being, because there are other people that did it and it was annoying. And so I would just look at the differences there. And it was really cool because I would take qualities of how he approached women and the women, because all the girls liked him too. And it was a weird thing because he never really approached women at all. And I think that's something that we mess up as young men in high school. You're trying to get with every other girl, but these girls talk. And so now you're just a guy that tries to get with all the girls. So, like, one of the key things that I saw him do was he was actually a lot cool with all the other cool guys first in the school. And then what happened was all the girls wanted to be around them naturally, and as long as you're like a cool dude that doesn't want to approach them all the time, you're gonna get girls. And I noticed, I just watched it, you know what I mean? And I noticed where I messed up and how that was different in my journey. And I took that and I went to school and I befriended all the cool guys, and I was just like mellowed back, chill, didn't talk too much, only spoke when I needed to speak. And I think a lot of people were attracted to that, and naturally, I started to find like my own grooves within his personality because obviously I am myself, and those things naturally come out. I think that's another key aspect when you are emulating someone just as a creator or whatever. You're naturally going to come out
Mm.
anytime. If you have a classroom full of people and your art teacher tells you like, hey, draw this beach, everybody's beach is going to look different, but they're all drawing the same thing. And that's because we all have our own unique thoughts, all unique personalities and whatnot. So I think it's good to start off with a baseline of people that you find successful, people that you do want to emulate, and just allow yourself to come through those things. I know that
No,
was long,
that was good, man.
but
I wouldn't have
that was
dared
it.
cut you off there because that was gold, man. That was awesome. I think what I love about that is I'm very similar, where I try to break down other people's actions as well as my own, and then figure out like why both sides were doing what they were doing. But I think, and that definitely spills over to success on social. But it's a scary thing to do because I think, and why most people don't do it is because to do that admits that like you have to admit that you have faults or opportunities to improve. So what was it in you that was like, okay, like humble enough to be like, I could improve my situation by changing things?
Oh yeah, I was humbled my
And
whole
where'd that come
life.
from?
I was not
Okay.
getting the result. I was not getting the result that I wanted, and that came from I was trying different things. I was just trying to be myself per se, but I didn't know what qualities in myself people were liking and were not liking, and I couldn't really put a pin on it until I looked at other people that people liked, and so I was just frustrated with not getting a certain result out of life, And that's what really drove me to be more analytical and look at other people and be like, what are they doing? Because then I started doing that with everything. I've looked at people like Logan Paul and I'm like, what the heck took him from Cleveland dude, Vine dude, to big YouTuber, to bigger YouTuber, to now he's owning Prime and all that good stuff. So I do that with everybody
Wow,
now. And that's just it, out of me not having a
that's
certain result.
unreal, man. And so I'm hearing this, and I just think back to that's so true because until we're forced to try to look for change or see opportunities to, you oftentimes won't. And I know that a lot of things came fairly naturally to me, and those were the times when I had the least amount of growth. Was when things were just easy because you get complacent. But it was when those times when I could see somebody else was getting the results that I wanted, then I was like, okay, now let's go to the drawing board and like, how can I deconstruct this? So that's so cool. You just
Hmm.
gave me an aha moment. But one thing that you also mentioned was that it's okay to have people that you emulate, and all the greats have had that before them. So who were your creator emulations that you started off with looking at?
Oh, when I was
Hmm.
on TikTok, funny enough, it wasn't people on TikTok, but it was Russ. He's a
Yeah,
big
I have his
rapper. I
book.
really like him, and I was gonna say I got his book somewhere back
Mine's
here.
downstairs.
Um, so Russ, just that again, it's the I don't know what the word is, but just being
Mm,
so genuine, just letting that come across camera. I was doing a lot of the trends and whatnot, but I think I would reply to comments and reply to people in a way that just came across more real because I like that a lot about him and I like the way that it made me feel that I could be that same way. In terms of specific creators, honestly, when you're in the affiliate marketing game, I think everyone is just robots at that point if you're not looking for like context. 'Cause everyone
yeah,
just wants to make money anyway. So everybody was just copying like the hot
it's true.
video at the time. I remember like the same 5 videos just going across like
Yeah,
300 different people. So everyone just wanted to make money at that point. So it's just like I was doing those videos, but as far I knew ahead of time I wanted to build a real brand around what I had, which is why I made the LLC
hmm,
Think and Be Free. And I think that came from like people like Russ. I think he was just really the only one that I really looked at that was like, this is someone that if I can take this energy and bring it into the
that's a
creator
win.
space, then
That's dope, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
for
So
sure.
that perfectly transitioned to my next set of questions, which is about the business. So you made six figures
Yeah.
in 2 months on TikTok through this business. So can you walk me through what the business is and how you came across viewing this as an opportunity?
Yeah, so I have an online coaching business, and so what we do is we help. So in the beginning, I'll give you some
Mm,
more background. That 2 months that I made those six figures, I was only a
mm,
TikTok growth coach. So I was actually just helping people grow on TikTok. I was like one of the original TikTok growth people. And with that being said, I was blowing up, and I saw an opportunity way before I even started blowing up because I knew people needed to grow on TikTok. There were so many people in the affiliate marketing space that kind of just sucked at TikTok, business owners that suck at TikTok. They don't know really what's going on at all. And I've actually sought out help before way long ago, like 2 years ago on my TikTok, and what I got wasn't helpful at all. So I knew there was a need for it. And I started a TikTok growth coaching business. And literally 2 days after I started I actually got the LLC like official, I made this video and it was about how TikTok works. It was just boom, value. And it has 3 million views right now. And that's like the video that really took things off. And so that probably accounted for 50 or 60,000 of that 100,000
damn.
that I made, to be honest. And so we help people grow, and we have so many different features that really help people grow. So we obviously have coaching calls every single week. We give people a custom growth plan on like videos to actually do based on their profile, their needs, and all that good stuff. And then we have something super unique that obviously there might be a couple copycats out now because they've gone through my program, but it's called Campfire. And so what they can do is, because this was obviously branded as a campfire at first,
Okay.
or a boot camp. So I
Nice.
did Campfire, and they can screen record their posts, their TikTok posts, before they go out publicly and send them in to me, and I will critique it because there are so many little mistakes that people make. The texts are in the wrong place. They're too big, too small. The volume's too loud. This video is just not good. It sucks. The lighting, whatever. I could fix those things and make your video perform better just on a kind of micromanageable basis. So it's done with you as well. And so that really took things off for the clients as well that I really liked. But that was the beginning of that TikTok growth coaching. But I stopped doing that in the October. Let me see. What's the month
Yeah.
before October? September. So September, October. I stopped doing that because there's so many people that were growing on TikTok. This guy Harvey, he went from like 0 to 600,000 followers. and he still had no idea how to
Mm,
like, monetize it. And I was like, how can I introduce a way for people to monetize and whatnot? Because brand deals are like cool, and he had a couple here and there, but I didn't really know anything about brand deals. But what I did know is about a coaching business because I did start one. I know the infrastructure, all that good stuff. So now what my business is I help others start a coaching business or scale their coaching business with TikTok specifically, and that's it. And so that's really taken off because it's obviously a make money offer, but it's something that I feel super, super passionate about because I've done it and I know exactly
that's
how
so
to
cool,
get the
man. That's
people I
wildly
want.
similar to one of the agencies that I run, which is all about basically the same premise, but over on YouTube. And it was the same sort of thing where I just saw a huge opportunity where even some people that were getting growth on YouTube, they didn't know how to make that a business because traffic is irrelevant if there's no intent for where that's going or what that the outcome of that is. So that's super dope that you have that, man. And so how long has so that's been in effect for how long now? The switch in
Oh, I switched that. So I took a break from like mid-September to October, and then I started that new business venture up in November. So no, literally
Okay,
November
sweet. That's
1st
awesome.
to
And
now.
so is that on a like how does that structure in terms of people that work with you? Do you like is it a monthly recurring thing? Is it like a one-time consulting? How does that work?
Yeah, so they're in a
Okay.
program for 8 weeks long. There's a one-time fee, so like the highest fee is like 7K, and then we break it up
Dope.
into payment
That's
plans
awesome,
as
man.
well.
Good for you. That's phenomenal. And so are
Yeah.
you doing this all by yourself? Do you have a team? How are you structuring the fulfillment side?
Yeah, so on the fulfillment side, I was doing everything myself for a good
No,
while,
it's
but that's
not.
not sustainable at all. So I definitely hired out. I have a good team. I thought that I knew it all in the beginning because I had such fast success because of TikTok and the traffic. I was like, dude, I made 6 figures. I don't really need a coach or anything. I needed a coach, and that was exactly what I needed it on was building a team, fulfillment, all that good stuff. So I do have a team. I have a closer. I have an appointment setter for other platforms. I have two client success managers, and then I have a head coach and an executive
Unreal,
assistant. So I
man.
have a team
That's
of six
amazing.
right
Good
now.
for you. And so on the note of obviously you got tons of success very quickly on TikTok. A huge proponent of that was your skill,
Hmm.
but also the opportunity that was present on TikTok, especially at the time that you started. Do you feel that it's still the same level of opportunity if you were to start TikTok today? Do people still have the same chance? Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
yeah, they do. I think they have even more of a chance. Yeah, and I think it's you have to look at it differently, man, because I think some people are scared and they have this dumb idea that, oh, this person's doing it. The room is full. I can't do it anymore. The spots are all taken. It's no, that just
Mm,
validates you even more. I was telling somebody the other day, he was like, everybody does
yep.
wholesaling. You've heard of real estate wholesaling. And so there's so many real estate wholesaling coaches. But, and the dude was telling me about how he was going to start a coaching business, but he was scared because other people are doing real estate wholesaling. I'm like, that should confirm that you can do it because if they're still all in business, there's a reason why they're going to these different people and not just one guy, or else they would just go to one guy for it all, right? So what's different in the market about these different people that attracts
Mm,
other clients? And so probably the same things that would help you attract other people, your personality, the way that you deliver the information, all these different nuances in the in between. I think a lot of people get caught up and on the overwatching the 30-foot view that they don't think the in between will be any different when it really is. I don't know if you heard this fun fact, but there are only 36 possible movie
no, I
plots
haven't heard
ever.
that. Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's so many great movies. There's so many great movies. And so what I call that is the in between is so good. It's what makes movies that primarily have the same plot different or one or is better than the other. So I don't know, Mission Impossible and Ocean's 11 or something like
Mm,
that. You know what I mean? It's it's the same type of movie genre, whatever, but the in between is so different that you like one movie or the other, Expendable or what, an Ocean's 11 or whatever you want to,
yeah.
whatever comparisons you want to draw. But that in between is very important, and I think that
Mm.
is what
Yeah,
people
and I
need to
think the in
focus on.
between on social is that piece that we've talked about a few times today, which is being you and letting that come through. And I think you do an awesome job of this personally because you'll touch on like things that aren't even necessarily directly to your niche. And I've seen sometimes you do that, and even those get a ton of views. So what has that meant for you in terms of
Yeah.
creative freedom, and then how has that connected on a different level with your audience? And also on the other side, has there been any backlash because of that?
I
Okay.
haven't gotten any backlash yet, and I'm disappointed. I'm almost at a million
Damn.
followers and no backlash. I need to be more controversial, but I don't know. I what it means to me is that it just confirms what I've known all along that you can do what you want to do. It
Okay.
just has to be in a certain way. I think a lot of people come on TikTok at first and they try to do all these different things and they don't know how TikTok works, so it messes them up. I think the fact that I niched down first built like my core audience and then branched out and kept branching out. I think that's what kind of built my success behind it. Because I look at all these other successful TikTok creators that did the exact same thing. But then somebody random will say, "Oh, you don't need a niche and this and that." There comes context with it, with that. How many followers are you at? How long you been on TikTok? What's your core audience look like? All that good stuff. So it's just confirmed exactly what I've thought all along. And then in terms of the business side of it, I don't think it translates to direct business. I think indirectly it does, because people know more who I am, and the branding type stuff where people know who I am and they like who I am. And if they find themselves in the interest of needing business from me, then it pulls them towards
somebody listening to this, I can literally hear the questions that they're asking, where they would say, okay, so how do I learn TikTok? Like, how does one who doesn't know TikTok get to a place where they do know TikTok?
Yeah. So the way that I learned TikTok was literally just by learning. Everyone knows the whole For You page thing. It's just the basics. But if you're talking it depends on what aspects are they talking about, what works on TikTok. Why are they asking this question? And that's what I dive deep into, because I do get that question a lot. Like, how does TikTok work? How do you want it to work? What exactly are you looking for? Because if you're looking just for a lot of views, I can tell you how that works. Are you looking for building a brand? I can tell you how that works. Or all these different nuances. I think it comes with experience. Just get the basic knowledge of knowing that TikTok has a For You page. The For You page is something that you are exposed to every single time that you post. Based on your metrics of watch time and engagement, you will get pushed out to more For You pages. If you want to get more watch time and engagement, it's wiser for you to be in a niche so that you can push out to that niche specifically, because TikTok on the other end is always trying to keep us on the platform for as long as possible. And so if they're trying to keep us on the platform as long as possible, and they show us on our For You pages what is good for us, that means as a creator, they're always searching for who's going to watch your content the most. So if you can make their job easier by making niche down content, and they're like, aha, okay, this guy's a stock creator, I'm going to push him out to all the people that watch stock content. Okay, that's going to blow up for us. For him, it's a win-win all around. So that's the basics of it. Beyond that, it would depend on exactly what they want to know and exactly
very
what their goals
nuanced
are.
question with a nuanced answer. But one thing you said there that relates perfectly to what you said a few seconds ago was that you started with a niche and then you branched out when it was appropriate to do. How did you make that decision? Like, when did you know you were at that place?
So I was a make money online creator, and I know that I call it tree branching. I teach this, and that make money online can go with a lot of other niches. Make money online can go with mindset. Make money online can go with entrepreneurship. It can go with just inspirational stuff, just like fitness can go with motivation. Fitness can go with mindset, those certain things. So I really just looked at it as when I wanted to. I didn't think there was a specific time that was appropriate. If I could go back, I did it around, like, I was at 12 to 50,000 followers, I want to say, in that range, where I started trying out different types of content that I knew would relate to my original niche that people would like. So I would say do that around that mark. Once you have 10, 12, up to 50K followers, you can start branching out and whatnot, but build that core audience first. That's something that I would have done back in the day, a little bit even more. Build my core audience first and then branch out. Because I see so many cool comedians on TikTok and other people too that, like, they built their core audience, but now they post like a video of them singing or rapping or something like that, and that gets hundreds of thousands of views. That has nothing to do with comedy. And I go back and I scroll all the way down, it's okay, they built this first. And so I think it's all about building that core audience first, stick into that, go to up to, I'll say, 25,000 to 50,000 followers, and then you can start branching out and posting different types of things that relate to your niche and see the reception.
So it sounds like a lot like Jab, Right Hook, a book by Gary Vee, where it's like you give, and then if you want to do something more so for you or alter the niche or whatever, if that level of commitment is there from the audience that you've taken time to build, nurture, and give value to, then they're going to be along for the ride. They're going to come with you where you're going, especially if it makes sense. Like where you said tree branching, I think is the word you used, where it's like it's connected, so it makes sense. And oftentimes, if they like this, they're probably going to like this, and then because it's coming from you, they like it even more. That's dope.
Exactly. And then if your core audience is so powerful to a point where, you know, anything you say just because you're saying it is good, then you're golden.
100%.
That's where you see the
I think
great creators.
You're well on your way there if you're not already. But there's one specific TikTok that you made that actually probably had the biggest impact on me from a marketing perspective. And it was actually like, I was like, that makes so much sense. And oftentimes I was doing it subconsciously, but I was like, this is actually like a framework kind of thing, where you said, and I'm paraphrasing you here, But you said in order
Hmm.
to get the results you want, you need to give
Yeah.
your audience what they want and then give them what they need after. Can you break down that whole approach to content and why that
Yes.
works?
I'll tell you why it works. It's because people don't know what they need. They only want what they want. And from a marketing perspective, I learned this in business because I'm a TikTok business coach essentially. So a lot of other coaches and businesses that come on TikTok, they're primarily just looking for growth. So if I get on TikTok and I talk about how to get clients, they may or may they think they already know clients. They have a business and they're just looking for growth. Okay, I know that. And then when they join the program or whatever, they get hooked in, then I can give them what they need and translate. I was having a conversation and I know about helping people by giving people what they want and then giving what they need because I was talking to a dating coach. Not a dating coach. He's not even a dating coach. He's a men's improvement coach. And we were talking and he was like, "Man, I think I'm in the wrong niche because I'm not getting people that want to pay for this. They're not seeing the real need for it, but I know I needed it and I want to get that across. So I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm in the wrong niche, whatever." And I was like, "The content that you're making is just on being a better leader, being like the alpha guy, whatever. But do you remember why you yourself wanted to be improved? Because I can tell you why I got into a bunch of men stuff on YouTube. It's to get girls. There was no other purpose for it. I wanted to get girls, and then I found okay, before you get girls, you got to be a guy that's worthy of getting girls. So you got to be successful, whatever, this and that. And then you go into like leadership, and you want to be the guy that other guys want to be and the guy that girls want to be with. And so through that journey, I've learned about leadership, being a better speaker, learning from others, all that good stuff. But it started with girls. And I'm like, why don't you start making more content, getting girls in some way, right? Because that's what these people want. And right when they get in there, you just, okay, if you want to get the girl, now you need to be a better leader. You need to get your physique in shape. You need to think different. Who do you want to be? Those are the deeper questions you give them, and that's what they need. But they think they just, and then on the other end, I was telling them, they're not going to pull out their pocketbook, the better leader. They're gonna pull out their pocket. I guarantee his program's like $3,000. I'm like, if the hottest girl, if their dream girl came up to them right now and said, "I will go on a date with you," if the date is a $3,000 date, they would find a way to get $3,000 easily. I would. So with that in mind, you got to think about exactly what they want. And I think that applies to so many other niches. And that really pulled a trigger for him. He started making more content around getting girls and whatnot, and how that translates into being a better man in general. And he's gotten a lot more business and a lot more clients and whatnot. So that's just one tweak.
Yeah,
And
man,
when I
that's so
realized that,
powerful
really
because it
cool.
is. It's like basically creates a magnet when you understand someone's true desires and wants, needs, etc., and you can speak to that on a deeper fundamental level, and then relate it back to how your outcome
Yep.
delivers that end result. That's wildly game changing. I actually just filmed a
Hmm.
TikTok today where it's, if you look at the best performing creators, they're all around typically like three subjects: health, wealth, or happiness in some way, shape, or form, because they're universal desires. So the more that you're able to incorporate
Yeah.
universally desired things into your content, the higher the potential audience is there. And that's exactly what you did. But you took it even down to a more granular level where you think, okay, here's who I'm trying to reach. What do they actually care about? How do I help them achieve that? And then make them understand that to achieve that, they need this XYZ service or product or whatever I'm offering. That's dope, man. So
Exactly.
I love talking to people like you because like you have like deep marketing information and understanding. But did you go to school for marketing?
No, I dropped out of school, and I went to school for, I don't know what my major was, unfortunately. I switched it so many times just to be in different classes, and I eventually, I think I was just
Okay.
undecided at the time, but I dropped out after a
See,
semester.
I
So
love that though,
yeah,
because that
I
goes
don't
to
know.
show that you can gain marketing knowledge through trial and error and then figuring stuff out for yourself. But it's so true because a lot of the stuff that they teach in marketing school, because I do have a marketing degree, but I don't really attribute any of my success to it because they teach the stuff that you're saying and you're making
Yeah.
far more easy to understand and applicable to real world scenarios. And they make it so dry that it goes right over everybody's heads. Whereas like how you're presenting it, you're saying, okay, this works because of
Hmm.
this, and here's an example of how it happens. Like that, I think that's my biggest issue with conventional school is that they literally beat the same nothingness into your head so much where you just stop listening. I honestly, I wish
Yeah.
I had dropped out for my
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
specific situation, but I stayed with it for the whole 4 years and got my piece of paper where I don't even know where that is at this point. But for someone who wants to like be a marketer, obviously you're living proof that you don't need a degree. But where do you recommend people do go to learn? Because there is
Yeah.
there's so much information out there. There's also so much bad information because of that. Like, how do you tell someone to weed out between good and bad information?
Man, how to weed out between good and bad information is good because
Mm.
honestly, some of it has to be natural selection. Somebody has to be the sucker out there that just gets the bad thing. And I was too. But what comes with that is experience. And I think don't be so caught up in trying to get something that's perfect, trying to get something that, is not bad. Try to get something that
Mm.
has knowledge that you just don't have yet. You can learn a bunch of stuff online for free, and depends on where you're at for your journey. But if you're complete beginner, and you're trying to become a marketer and you want to learn more about marketing knowledge, I think some of the best people to watch. I'm trying to think about how I did it. I think honestly, and this is I've talked to so many entrepreneurs, and it's weird because some of the best entrepreneurs I talked to were music artists before they became
Mm.
entrepreneurs, because they have to learn so much about marketing through to get their music out there. And I learned to I honestly just watched so many YouTube videos, but I didn't really nothing clicked until I started implementing things. And then once I started taking fast action, that's when I came with specific issues, because you look something up on YouTube like how to be a good marketer. I don't know how far that's actually going to take you. It's not going to take you far, but if you go out and start trying to market things, you're going to very quickly get punched in the face, and you're going to very quickly be like, okay, that's not good for whatever reason. I need to find out why that's not good. Maybe I can try this. And then through that action and repetition, you're going to find yourself way farther than someone that just looks stuff up. So I think taking that action, and then through taking that action, you're going to be pointed in the direction naturally with who you need to go to. I just picked up the book $100 million Offers by Alex Hormozy, just because I think that looks like a really good book. Everyone says it's a really good book, and I'm in that phase of my life or whatever. So I'm here, but I don't
Mm.
need that necessarily to be where I'm at now. You know what I mean? It took the action first. So I just say take
Yeah, I
action
think
first.
till
It
you
led
take action, you
naturally.
don't know what you don't know, and you also don't know what questions or what problems you have. So it's you just can search endlessly, and I think that's a trap that so many young hustlers or desired entrepreneurs fall into. Is they trick themselves into thinking they're making progress because they're consuming the right kind of content, like it's in the scope of what they're trying to do. But unfortunately, like, it doesn't matter. And I've had so many friends like this too, where they'll
Yeah.
talk about an idea they have or an idea for a show, and that doesn't mean anything until you execute. Like, you could have thought of Uber 30 years ago, but if you didn't execute on it, no one cares. It doesn't matter. The market doesn't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
I love that you positioned it like that. But with moving forward back to you specifically, what's next for you in terms of like your brand and your business? What's
The master plan is to become a huge brand. I really think that YouTube is the source of great content. I think it's going to be, and I don't know your opinion on this, but I think it's going to be here for a very long time, even way longer than it has been out. I think YouTube, I want to go into a space of branding. So right now we're scaling the business up. And we're trying to get that to 250K to 300K a month. But then other than that, I just want to brand, build other businesses, see what comes my
okay?
way. I don't like to make super long goals because
Okay.
I don't know what's going to change in the meantime. But I know always what's in my brain. Like I love doing things like this. So getting on more podcasts and things of that nature, and just getting myself out there and becoming more branded. I think that's the master thing. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I would say that I have a deep love for YouTube. It's my first place where I found a lot of success. Well, that and Instagram, but like more financial success definitely came from YouTube. And I've just seen the kind of connections that kind of content can create. I don't see that going away anytime soon. So for your branding on YouTube, like, what kind of content are you thinking you're going to make there?
Honestly, like I said, I've watched a lot of other people, and I just go back and see their journey. I might take the Hormozy route, the Iman Gagey route, just posting value, and then posting whatever comes in my brain, telling stories about whatever's going on in my life. And if people are interested, they're going to come through, and I'm going to learn more about how to grow on YouTube by doing that and see where things take me.
I love that. So yeah, two things there, because like, it's so awesome you're mentioning all these names, because these are the same people I'm looking at and studying and all that stuff. And is great because he understands the importance of nuance and the reality of it. And so he creates content that is good in general, and then he has a team that helps him format it for YouTube, like the packaging of it. So like the title and the thumbnail, I'm willing to bet he has very little input on that. He makes a subject that he knows is highly valuable, and he says, okay, frame this in a way that makes the most sense. And Eman, I'm probably gonna butcher his last name, Godzi, he recently just hired a YouTube expert. And if you go look at his most recent content, I think he hired the guy or girl like a few months ago, you can physically see the difference of what good content packaging looks like. And if you go watch the videos, they're almost the same. He's always made great stuff. But because of this understanding of how nuanced this really is, he's getting more and more results. And it will only compound. And what that will mean for his business will be massive. So I can't wait to see what you build with like your analytical mind and all that stuff. So definitely, do you have, your channel's already up, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay, so I'll link that down below. So go subscribe. And then I personally can't wait to watch the stuff. What's the plan for that? When are you going to start posting there?
I've started posting last week. Honestly, I'm gonna post stuff just value, how to get from 0 to 10K as an online coach, whatever, and then from there, anything. I really love self development. So self development
Me
and
too.
about becoming. Um, and I think I'm gonna just start posting things that just come to my mind, and I'm gonna get better at, like you said, the editing and whatnot. And I may even hire people for that because I understand that what I don't know, and what I don't have
Yeah.
time for. So yeah,
That's the bigger piece. Yeah, that's exactly why my agency Bunny Media exists, is because there are a lot of great coaches out there, great info product sellers that see the power of YouTube. They understand it, but they don't understand the time that needs to go into that to do it effectively. So yeah, I think you could definitely figure it out on your own, but you're probably better served doing what Eman did and just getting someone to do that small piece of it so that you can just focusing on pumping out value. I'm excited for that, man. And I think I've run through the majority of the questions that I had. So did you have anything that you wanted to chop up about, or any questions you had for me? The floor is yours, my man.
honestly, I don't have any questions. I really like. How long has this podcast been going on for?
So it's a funny story with this podcast. So this was probably my first dip into content creation seriously. And so the actual show started, geez, maybe even 5 years ago at this point. But it's been through multiple brand changes and even like niche changes. It was more like a personal development type thing, and then it's changed. So the RSS feed has been the same the whole time. So like the original ratings are from like 2017 and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been social media university for the past year or so, and just finally hired a team behind it now so we can really do it consistently, because that's one thing I've struggled with the show. But I just love the opportunity to connect with people like you. So it's well worth it.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. I like the concept a lot. I like it. I like this a lot. I like to. This is my first podcast that I've ever really done. Well, second. I'll say second because I did one with
Really?
Dave Sharp, the
Okay.
CEO of that one company. But other than that, yeah, I really like this, and I want to do a lot more of these.
You should, man. You're natural. I'd say that you were one of the easiest conversations that I've had like this, because of how I'm sure the content creation piece helps. But it flowed very easily, and the questions that I had were very. I didn't have to think very much because you basically spoon fed them to me. So you should totally do more of them. And then, hey, obviously one thing at a time, but maybe even start your own show at some point.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hopefully,
Of
we'll
course,
see what
man.
happens in the future. I got a
Yeah,
lot of work to do. How old are you, by the
absolutely, man.
way?
I'm 26 as of a month ago. How old are
Okay,
you?
22.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you got all the time in the world, man. It's amazing. I wish I was as far as you at 22, man. I can't wait to see where you go, what you build, all that good stuff. And yeah, man. So where should, if someone's listening to this right now and they want to consume more of your stuff or connect with you, where's the best place to go do that?
I'd say the best place to do that is TikTok, just Kenton Martin _. You'll find me.
Dope. Awesome.
Yeah,
And that will be linked in the show notes if you're consuming this via audio, and then in the description box if you are consuming via YouTube. But that's all I had for you, man. It was a pleasure to meet you finally and chop it up, and I'm sure we'll do it plenty more times over. But thank you so much for coming on, man, and I appreciate you.